is our first episode. I'm very, very excited. So let's just dive in. I'm Sable Danielle, a human design coach, and let's dive into work on our shadows. Do you have boundaries? And if so, do you actually honor them? Are you a habitual people pleaser, a yes woman or yes man? Do you overcompensate or overgive your energy, your time, and your effort? Just for the sake of proving and solidifying your value and space in someone's life. Are you I'm good if you're good type of person? And if you resonate with any of these things, then that could be a huge sign that you need to, you could work on your boundaries, your shadows. There's some things that we could definitely evolve on and get better at in regards to protecting your space and your energy. And I'm Sable Danielle, a human design coach, and today we're going to talk about how we can overcome and navigate our shadows with human design. And so, people pleasing. Being a yes man, always making sure that you're available, even if you don't truly have the energy to be available for someone. And you're already feeling exhausted, but you're just gonna go ahead and do it just because you feel like you should, or you don't wanna let somebody down, or you know that they need you, but you also need yourself, but you're choosing not to put yourself first. Which I commend you for being a great person, but also at the end of the day, you can't pour from an empty cup. So people pleasing is one thing that I can resonate with. I think it's safe to say that we've all been there. I used to live in a constant state of having no boundaries, to be honest. And even if I did have boundaries, I didn't always honor them. I'm good, or used to be good, for putting my needs to the side for the sake of others. And I often allowed my boundaries to be pushed just because I didn't want to be a disappointment. So that's one form of people pleasing that I can resonate with. But fast forward to today, I can confidently say that I no longer struggle with honoring my boundaries, and that human design has been one of the main reasons that I now have the confidence to enforce my boundaries, or to even create boundaries, because I don't even think I really had boundaries before. I just was like, whatever goes, you're good, I'm good, it is what it is, right? But that's not that's not the healthy way to go about things. So let me share a little bit about my journey, and how human design affected my life and influenced my Know Yourself, Love Yourself energy coaching. Know Yourself, Love Yourself is a three-month energy coaching program. I customize and provide tools for you for clarity and guidance on how to honor your unique energy, their needs, rather than trying to fulfill the expectations of what you feel you need to do, or to fit into a society, or what society makes you feel like you should do, or how you should act. It's about reconditioning your mind to let go of the conditioning that you were raised on and taught to do throughout your environment. So for 3 months, you'll have me as your personal energy coach to hold you accountable and provide support to you, and help you stand strong in your own authenticity on your self-discovery journey. My self-discovery journey wouldn't have been as impactful or successful as it was or has been so far if it wasn't for human design. I did a great job of self-reflecting and discovering myself without human design, but everything clicked so much better, and so much more smooth after human design came into my life. If it wasn't for human design, I'd still more than likely be stuck in my cycles of not feeling like I'm enough, the mindset of not needing to have boundaries because I'm good if you're good. I want everyone around me to be happy, but also at the same time, I need to be happy while you're happy. So just needed to shift that, because it's just absolutely not true. We need to have our cup poured into just as much as we're pouring into other people's cups. So maybe I'd also be stuck in like questioning and trying to prove my value, which is something that I did on a regular basis as well. So learning about my human design, my energy type, and the energy that makes me me, it shall help me shift my mindset and thoughts to love myself and understand myself and show compassion to myself. And it also helped me have enough confidence to unapologetically honor my own needs and set the boundaries that I needed to set in order to keep my life peaceful and balanced. Because I have to live with my life in my body every single day until I no longer exist in this realm. And it's definitely a top priority to make sure that this vessel is a vessel of peace and balance and fulfillment and happiness. So just like yin and yangs, we all have like a light and a dark, a shadow side, our ego side that offsets, just, I can't think of the word right now, but like good and bad. But I don't want to say good and bad because it's not good and bad. It's like shadow side or the side that you embrace, I guess. Anyways, within our shadow lies our ego, and something that we always need to make sure is that we stay balanced. We don't maneuver from our ego. We don't let our ego make decisions for us. We keep it balanced. We don't want our ego way up here. So I used to always have I'm good if you're good mindset, because when I love, like I truly love, and I just want my people to be happy and fulfilled all of the time, and that truly does bring me joy. However, I never really understood that that's like impossible, right? I can't just always get my happiness from other people. I need to have my own source of happiness as well. And I just never really knew how much like pouring from an empty cup, I guess, could affect you. And human design helped me understand that and put like a lot of the pieces together. So having an undefined emotional solar plexus center means that I take in and I amplify energy. Anyone that has an undefined center, where there's not color in your chart, you're always taking in and amplifying energy from your environment. So my emotional solar plexus center is undefined, which means I don't have my own consistent, reliable emotional energy, and my emotions are very heavily based off of my environment. So my I'm good if you're good type of mindset really came from when the people around me are good. My emotional solar plexus center is taking that in and amplifying that happiness. So I'm taking in the happiness, I'm feeling that happiness, I'm exuding happiness. It just makes like the happy energy just way more powerful, because my center is amplifying the energy that that the people around me are giving off from them being happy. And so that explains the I'm good if you're good. It's not really I'm good if you're good. It just means I'm amplifying your energy, and I can feel that very, very heavily. So I was kind of mistaken for that, but that helped me understand that I also, well, let me stop just for a second. Just because you might have an undefined or open center, that doesn't mean that you never have that energy, okay? You have that energy within you. It's just not consistently there. It goes up and down, it varies. It just depends on the day, where you're at, the time. Like, it's just very dependent on what's going on around you. However, when you have a defined center, it's just consistently there. So I needed to take a space to like learn what my emotions felt like, or take time to sift through that, like the emotions that I feel, to recognize and see what's actually mine and what actually is someone else's, so that I'm not solely worried about pleasing other people. I'm good if you're good type of energy. It's like, I'm good, I'll pour into you, you pour into me, and when you're good, like I'll amplify that energy, but I'm not going to base my happiness just solely off of your happiness. So on top of that, Wait, let me go back just for 1 second. Okay, so going back to the I'm good if you're good type of energy. When I'm good if you're good type of energy like reaches its cap because it's impossible to be good only if someone else is good, you're gonna reach your cap of, man, I thought I was good if someone else is good, but I feel really empty right now. Like my cup is full. I keep pouring into these people and I'm not getting anything back. I'm trying to make happiness for other people and I feel it in that moment, but like nobody's really truly pouring into me. And so that just means that you are starting to reach like, well, first of all, you're not honoring your energy. You're not honoring your human design. But you're also reaching your limit. You're burning out. You're overwhelming yourself. You're overexhausting yourself. You're giving too much. You don't have boundaries. And so all of that is going to trigger your not self emotion. And for me as a projector, that's bitterness and resentment. And it's like, what's wrong with me? Why are you not pouring into me? I mean, don't you see how like amazing I am? Why are you not pouring into me when I'm pouring into you? Like that's kind of how it ends up feeling at the end of the day. But really it's up to me to create boundaries so that I don't always feel that way. Like it's okay for me to give and it's okay for me to enjoy the happiness or the emotions of the people within my, my bubble that I'm amplifying the energy, but also my energy is way more important. So just wanted to throw that in there. And so if you're maneuvering from your not self emotion, for manifestors, that's anger, generators, frustration, reflectors, disappointment, projectors, that's bitterness, that's definitely going to impact how you feel every day, and that's going to impact your relationships. So it's something that you want to pay attention to. And on top of that, I have a throat center with only 2 gates defined. And so even though I have consistent access to my throat energy, my communication, like expression and things, I never really spoke up for myself. I still feel very uncomfortable speaking in front of groups or sometimes speaking up for myself, speaking up for my needs. And that's because I have a defined throat center, but there's 11 gates in the throat center. So I only have 2 defined. That's not a lot, 2 out of 11. So it's still more like a hesitant type of energy for me. And then also the gates that I do have defined in my throat center, one of them is the gate of caution. So I'm always cautious about how I speak and how I express myself. And that's something that I needed to become aware of and put more emphasis on as well. You can learn a lot about that through the centers and the gates that are defined within your chart. And then also like the undefined areas, that's where you're taking in energy and amplifying it. That's where we're taking in conditioning. That's where we're usually triggered. That's where our not self usually stems from. So all of those things are very important, but it's different for everyone because everyone's energy is extremely different. Nobody has the same energetic blueprint. Nobody's born with the same defined energy in their chart. And so I mentioned that I have, 2 gates defined in my defined throat center, one of those being a gate of caution. And so another thing that I did that was like a shadow thing for not honoring my boundaries is I didn't verbalize my needs. I only have 2 of the 11 gates defined, and so speaking up for myself and using my voice, especially in that way, when I'm already maneuvering from like a people-pleasing space, like I'm very, I used to be, not anymore. I'm very cautious about the way that I speak and about how I, impact people. And I do care, but not at the sake of like me. I'm going to express myself if you're making me feel some type of way or whatever. So woe is me mentality is something that I also used to struggle with a lot. I felt like I wasn't very seen or valued, even though I know that I'm a great person and I have a lot to offer, whether it's friendships, like business, romantic relationships, family relationships, like anything. It was like a common theme. And so I just felt like I was overcompensating my energy and my time in order to prove myself to people, in order to like not feel abandoned or rejection, or to not feel like something was wrong with me. But in that instance, like as I'm doing all of that, the kicker is I still very much so felt like something was wrong with me. Like I needed to fix something about myself. Like people still weren't really recognizing me. And any negative thing that happened would really trigger my abandonment wounds and rejection wounds and everything, and I would spiral like endlessly. I wouldn't spiral every single day, but like if as soon as that trigger happened, it was like an endless spiral. Please stay out of my way. Don't talk to me. Like it was pretty crazy, to be honest. However, like once human design found me and I learned that I'm a projector, everything really clicked, and I was so much more compassionate with myself. I loved myself so much more. I embraced myself so much more, and I understood myself so much more. That was the problem. I feel like I just didn't understand myself. There was always a missing puzzle piece, and human design helped me finish the puzzle and then glue the puzzle together myself. Like I don't need human design. It's just a really great tool to help while you're on a self-discovery journey. And so projectors naturally yearn to feel seen and valued, and it's easy for us to feel like something is wrong with us, and spiral into a negative thought cycle, or also spiral into a negative, like resentful, insecure type of mindset. So that's why I always feel that way or felt that way, but nothing was actually wrong with me. It was just I wasn't stepping out of like that energy. I was feeding into that spiral by not setting a boundary or not being self-aware, you know? So my mind was definitely blown after I found out my energy type, and it was just that simple, to be honest. I felt so much lighter. I felt so much more at peace with myself. I felt like the more that I learned about human design in relation to like my habits and my mindsets, the more at peace I became with who I am, and the more confident I became about who I am and everything. Like human design helped me shed so much like mental weight that I was carrying. I gained a lot more compassion for who I am, and I also stand in my authentic power way more confidently and way more than I ever did. I don't think I ever did before. I was always walking on eggshells, and I was like scared to show up in that way. But I no longer feel that way. I no longer feel like the victim or like anything's wrong with me. And I'm not saying I don't have bad days or bad moments or bad thoughts every now and then. Everybody does. I'm human. But I don't spiral. And it doesn't come from a place of like needing to be seen. It's just I'm triggered for a moment, and then I get my shit together. And I'm able to learn from it and move on. I'm able to recognize where it comes from, and I can correct whatever I'm like starting to spiral in or whatever. And it's just like, it just feels so light. So I now know who I am. I understand why I am how I am. I also understand that everyone is like extremely unique and nobody has the same energy. So I should stop expecting people to move how I move or think how I think, and I should get to know them for them at an energetic level. And so it's very important for me to get to learn the energy type of the people in my life. Like I don't need to know that right away, but as I get to know you and you become very important in my life, I want to be able to understand you. And so human design is a tool to do that, so that we can have a healthier, stronger like relationship or whatnot, and just understand each other on a deeper level. And I just truly appreciate the peace of mind and the sense of acceptance that human design has helped me gain. So thank you for listening. I really hope that this helps anyone who resonates with it. I really want everyone to feel this peace within themselves. And if you're ready to feel this level of peace and self-acceptance while releasing your shadow habits, my 3-month energy coaching program would be perfect for you. You'll have me